what to do with those used tea bags. I'll tell you what, after making tea, after tea dyeing paper, set them on a paper plate and let them dry. And then we're going to take them apart. Pour the tea into a jar and just save it. Save your tea bags. I usually lay mine flat, put them in a Ziploc bag, but what you then do after your tea bag is dry, you just gently work on taking it apart at the top. And mine has a little metal paper clip there, and I'm going to just take that off and throw it away. But the string I add to the jar. We're literally saving as much as we can. And then we're going to dump that tea into the bag there, or into the jar there, sorry. My dog barked and now I can't think straight. So make sure it's all out. Again, gently, because we don't want to rip it, as little as possible at least. And then you're going to find that middle. Open it up so you can put your finger in it. It might be kind of tough, just go slow and gentle. And once you have it open, find that center seam. You see there where it's like a thick line? Gently pull that because it will come apart. And then you just simply pull the whole way down and it's open. And then I like to just rub it over the jar and get those extra little loose pieces off. And then I'll set the bag aside because we're going to do a whole different project, or 10 different ones, with that. I tea dyed paper last night and put the bags on that paper plate in front of the wood stove to dry. And they were dry this morning. So now we've got a bunch of tea, some strings, and I add dried flower pieces in there as I come across them, and I just set them out to dry. Let me show you. I'm going to grab some. This is some lavender. It smells amazing, by the way. And it's just a little bit in a Ziploc bag, and you can add it directly to your tea there. And then some rose petals. Again, some of them are a little bit big, so you're going to want to kind of crush them a little bit. And then just shove them down in there and stir it up. You could put as little or as many as you want, or you don't have to add them to it. Just save them for what we're going to do here in a few minutes. I just like to add them to it. I don't know. It's just the way I do it. And I don't measure. I just put them in. And then I do put the bags away and save them for later. So this here I did not dry. Look, I bought them. You can get them on Amazon, I think, or you can dry them yourself. You probably can get them at craft stores too. So now we have this mixture, and I'm excited. Here we are. I'm going to show you what we're going to do. You need a piece of paper, scrapbook paper, tea dyed paper, coffee dyed paper, printer paper, any paper you want. You need your dried things, a paintbrush, and a jar, or not a jar, a bowl to mix some Elmer school glue in there and water. We're gonna make the glue last longer, but we're gonna water it down. And I usually try to do about a 2-to-1 ratio, more glue than water. But if you pour your glue in first and then pour water and mix it up, you can add more water as you go. And I just eyeball it. And it's just tap water, nothing special. You can get Elmer school glue at the dollar store. I think you might be able to get it off Amazon as well. And literally, guys, we're just going to mix it up really, really well. And I'll do some of the mixing off camera because it takes a few minutes. Now that we have finished mixing, we are going to just paint this paper, the whole thing, a good amount. You don't want too thin. And make sure you get it all the way to the edges. Every single little edge, which is, by the way, why you should put something down to protect whatever surface you're working on. I honestly just put down some parchment paper, but anything works. I don't recommend tissue paper because it'll stick to the glue, but anything that the glue is not going to stick to real well. And we're just spreading it all over. And once you've got a good amount everywhere, just set that glue aside. I try hard to remember to put it far enough away that I'm not going to knock it over, but not always. And inevitably I spill it. But start sprinkling however much you want of this tea and flour mixture on there. And, you know, make sure you get all the way to the edges. Try not to get too much in one spot, a big blob, you know. It's going to make it tough to work with. And we want to try and make it look natural. Now, this is where you could add more flower petals if you want to. String, cut up little pieces of string. That's why I save those tea string things so that I can add just a few. You can cut them any size you want, really. But just make sure they don't all end up in one spot. You don't want it to look like a big blob, I guess. Okay, now, napkin. So usually napkins, you know, come in 3-ply. So take them apart and just use one of the plies and put it over top of all of the ooey gooey mess we've just made. You can use any napkin. Mine was not big enough, so I'm having to rip it and just put other pieces on. And now glue. We're just going to dab glue on everything. Make sure there's no air bubbles. You want to press down, but doing it gently so you don't rip the napkin. And literally cover the whole paper. Make sure you get the edges really well. Okay, now the glue is done. We need to let it dry. I'm going to put mine in front of the wood stove, but you could use a hairdryer. I don't recommend a heat gun, though. That's too hot, so I'll be right back when this is dry. Mine dried pretty fast because of the wood stove heat, but look, those white spots, yep, air bubbles. So I'm literally just going to go over it with glue one more time and let it sit and dry and see what happens. So if you find that this is taking a long time to dry, then peel off that back layer of parchment paper. Then you can always take it to your bathroom, to your hairdryer. And now what, you say? Well, I'm going to cut it and make it into some tags because the back is this really cool tea-dyed color. Come on now. Oh, wow. All right. And I just got this, I call it my chopper. I just got this chopper at, shoot, where was I? Michael's. Michael's? I'm pretty sure it was Michael's. And it was the least expensive one they had. I just needed something to cut straight lines because I can't do that very well at all. I mean, like, really, truly. I've got a ruler for tearing, and I still can't cut my straight lines. What are we? They're stuck. Okay. So that is going to go in the recycle. Cut it at 5.5. That's too wide. Let's see where we're going to cut it, just in case you want to know. I'm going to cut it at 3 inches the first time. And then I think the next one we'll do 3.5. And then I'll leave that last one. And it leaves it at just under 4.5 inches. And then I'm thinking, yeah, I'm going to cut it into tags. I need my scissors. So I'm going to, look at that. That's so cool. And it feels really neat. Anyway, I'm going to fold it over and just chop some off so we have a tag shape here. And do the same with the other 2. I'm looking at this skinnier one here, and I'm just thinking it's too long. We're going to cut it in half and make 2 out of this. Not exact half. I'm just going to eyeball it. There. That's better. And then this one is kind of small, but that's okay. We have all different size pockets, so we need all different size tags. Okay, and I'm going to use my Dollar Tree hole punch. And I'm going to punch a hole in each one of them. And then I save scraps that are fabric. Don't get me wrong, this is not all my scraps. I have more. But anyway, this is my drawer of some. And I think I'm going to take this one. A little tag with writing space. And then this one. All right, so this one, I actually kind of want to do this mushroom piece. I'm gonna, for me it's too long. I'm just gonna cut off, oh no. I'm just gonna cut off a little on the edge, down here. Yeah. And then I'm actually not going to put it through that hole. I'm going to grab my stapler and I'm going to staple that like that. And then this gigantic one, gosh, you know, I'm going to do the rest of this long mushroom tag. And I am going to go ahead and staple it so that it's long. I don't know. All right. Well, thank you for being here. And wow, this was interesting. I'll be back another time and show you what to do with the actual bag part of the tea, where the tea was in. Until later, thanks for being here, guys.